Hello and welcome to another video on Inkscape. In this video I'm going to be showing you how you can quickly create this hummingbird design with the contrasting lettering. Stick with us. So the first thing I'm going to do is import my silhouette image of a hummingbird. I've downloaded this from Pixabay. I'll leave a link in the description below. So I'm going to come up to File, I'm going to come down to Import. I'm going to select my file and I'm going to OK to the settings. So there's our image. I'll just zoom out a bit so we can see what we're doing. I'll hold down Control to constrain the proportions, and then I'm just going to shrink this down so we can put it on our page, perhaps a little bit more. We can zoom in a bit. So now we have our hummingbird design ready to go. We need to add the writing or the text. So I'm going to come over to the text tool on the left hand side, click on that, and I'm just going to click anywhere on the canvas and I'm just going to write humming and then separately bird, just so we can move them around independently. And then I'm going to get my selection tool and hold down Shift. I'm going to select the humming as well. Hold down Control to constrain the proportions, and I'm just going to stretch it up to increase the size of our writing. Then we can bring it in. I think that might be slightly too big, so I'm going to hold down Control again, just reduce it very slightly. Move it up. Click off. Grab the bird text and we can move that into position underneath. So now we've got our writing in position, we need to create this contrasting letter effect. To do that, what we're going to do is select humming. I'm going to hold down Shift, select our bird at the back, and then we're going to come up to Path, and we're going to come down to Exclusion. And what this does is any overlapping bits, it cuts them away, so we're left with the bits that aren't overlapping. So we can do the same again. We can hold down Shift, select bird, come up to Path, down to Exclusion. Now by doing this we're creating one path, so if we just grab hold of this we can move it over and we can see that when we move it over the edge of the page you can see through the writing. So this is just a single path now with our design. So the only other thing I did on the design was to give it a gradient. So if you want to give it a gradient, same as me, we can come up to the Fill and Stroke dialog box, which is this little brush icon at the top here. If you don't have your command bar at the top like I have and you want it that way, you can come up to View, down to Widescreen at the bottom and just uncheck the box. So I'm going to come up here, click on our Fill and Stroke dialog box button. I'm going to select a linear gradient. I'm going to come down and select the gradient tool down on the left hand side, and that gives us this bar along the center. So we can say what colours we want to be at each stop. So we can come up and select this stop by clicking on it. We can then come down to the swatch at the bottom. We can go through our swatch just by clicking on these little arrows at the end. So I wanted something that was slightly violety in colour, so I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to give quite a dark bluey colour at one end, and then if we select the stop at the other end, I want this one to be more violety, so we're going to come down, perhaps that one. That looks quite nice. So we can also change the angle and position of our stops, so I'm just going to move these around to get an effect I like. Get the selection tool, click off, and there we have our hummingbird design. Hope you found that helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.